Now it's time to take a look at the Object 268. The Object 268 is probably the most powerful vehicle of this platoon. It has a gigantic 152mm main gun. It's also fairly long, does have some very nasty ammo to it as well. It is fairly fast, 50 km per hour is top speed, the reverse speed is also fairly decent, average penetration is 233mm. Its hull is based on the IS-8 or T-10A, which means that you will have some very strong frontal armor. Basically, this vehicle has a very strong gun, and it also has very strong armor, which is a very lethal combination, especially in tier 6. However, you can auto pressure the vehicle and you can shoot the lower plate. Usually that's the weak spots of the object. Now let's go and see how this thing plays. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a very fast vehicle. This is a tank destroyer. Doesn't have a lot of gun depression, unfortunately, but that's to be expected. So you can't really go hull down that much with the vehicle. The shell that I'm using is APHE-BC, but you do also have heat. I don't use heat, I use this shell and high explosive. You can technically main high explosive since it is a big gun and does have a lot of TNT to it. I think it's like 6 kilograms of TNT, which is a lot, and that's more than enough to overpressure most of the vehicles in its tier. Now it does also have a very strong machine gun. Does only have 50 bullets, but it is very strong and it is able to penetrate light armor vehicles. It is able to break tracks very easily as well, so you don't have to worry much about light armor vehicles, ATGMs and stuff like that, since you can shoot them down with the machine gun. Was very surprised with the machine gun. Does feel like a upgrade over the SU-122-54, which was based on the T-54's hull. This is based on a heavy tank's hull. It is still fast though, so not necessarily. I mean, honestly, when I looked at this thing for the first time, I forgot how the Object 268 worked. I forgot that it's actually a fast vehicle, but yeah, I like fast vehicles. A fast vehicle with a big gun, and that was a Yak Tiger. With this gun you can easily shoot the lower plate of the Yak Tiger and you can blow it up in one hit, which is very good since you want to make sure Yak Tiger is destroyed. You can still be penetrated by other tank destroyers. Again, lower plates, high caliber shells can easily hit the top parts of the vehicle. If you hit that little machine gun port, I think the commander's hatch, if you hit that, if you hit that with high explosive, with a large high explosive shell, you can overpressure the vehicle. That's a little secret. Or you can shoot the lower plate of this tank and it will destroy the object. Now, in one of the previous videos I mentioned that this might be one of the strongest tanks in tier 6, and definitely I would say it is. It does feel like it. Mainly because of this gun. This gun is insane. This gun is absolutely insane. Long barrel, well, technically a long barreled 152mm in tier 6. This is like a KV2, but much longer. Of course, it does have its drawbacks. It can't move the gun that much left and right, or up and down. The gun depression is not the best, and the side and rear armor of the vehicle are not that is not that good. So while the vehicle has its strong points, at the same time this thing also has the weak points. But for the most part, the object will be quite difficult to deal with. No, I don't have a problem with it. I can destroy any tank really. A T-95 with APCR can penetrate the tank easily. Yeah, Tiger can penetrate the tank easily. HE-ATFS shells. Finally, there is a use for the HE-ATFS shells that you can throw at this tank. You can kill them with those. So you do have a lot of shell options in tier 6, 5 and 4 to penetrate this vehicle. The M36, for example, is able to go through the armor of this vehicle, and that's a tier 4 tank. So it is definitely kind of scary that this thing is in tier 6. Definitely scary that we have this thing in tier 6, but I said this last time. There's a good chance that they will change the tier of the platoon, and also there's a good chance that they might even replace vehicles in the platoon. There is a good chance that that will happen, because a lot of players have voiced their concern about it, and the snail did listen last time. I mean, for the IS-6 platoon, we were supposed to get a T-54, right? Well, the T-54 has been replaced with the T-10M. So we might get something similar with this platoon as well. Will be interesting to see how things going. It will be interesting to see how the whole thing plays out. I'm all in for balance. I'm all in to make the game balanced. But yeah, we will see what will happen to the object. It doesn't have to be the object necessarily. I believe it could potentially happen that the BMP gets replaced or the object gets replaced. One of these two vehicles has a good chance to be replaced, and I actually think the object has the object is definitely the higher candidate to be replaced, since this thing is insane. When you look at the vehicle from the front, you can actually kind of see the IS-8, the T-10A turret. It is definitely a very odd tank for sure. Oh look, a M41. How did it bounce? What was that all about? Let's see how easy this thing breaks tracks. It's insane. The machine gun is very good. Yeah, that was a good battle. That was actually a very, very good battle. Well, that was fun. Let's go to the next match with the object. It is definitely a fun vehicle to drive, but not easy to drive, that's for sure. You may think, well, this is a very easy tank to drive around in the game, since it's tier 6. It can face tier 4 and tier 5 tanks. Well, I would say not exactly, since you do have some tanks that can penetrate. I mean, there are a lot of tanks that can penetrate the frontal armor of this thing, and you also have tanks that are more maneuverable. And you can also always shoot the main gun and disable the main gun, so you always have a option to destroy this tank. And of course, I picked to shoot the BMP because BMP has ATGMs, and the ATGM of the BMP is able to kill the vehicle. I'm also very careful with the Yak Tiger, since I know the Yak Tiger can also kill me, so taking precaution here. Even though I have crazy front armor, I still am playing very careful with this thing. Good thing is the gun on this just wrecks. That's just, you shoot anywhere on the lower plate of the Yak Tiger, it kills it in one hit. I actually expected a lot more penetration. I was worried that this thing would get a lot more penetration. Thankfully it didn't. I'm saying thankfully because imagine if this thing had APFSDS shells or APDS shells or something like that. A 152mm APDS shell would be ridiculous. It does have classic heat and does have the current AP that I have, so they are doing more than enough. I'm also pretty happy with the ammo types that this thing receives. You can also again spam high explosive if you like, since this thing can overpressure tanks quite easily with its huge gun. I mean, caliber of the gun is big, and that's a T114 that can kill this tank. By the way, the T114 with its rocket propelled grenades can easily kill the object. I love how this thing looks. It's definitely a eye-catching tank. We'll have to make a good thumbnail for it. Maybe this will be the thumbnail if I just rework the... Yeah, Might rework the image a little bit, but that potentially is a thumbnail for the object. I love it. And this position is very good because you can hide the lower plate. The lower plate is the largest weak spot of this vehicle. If you want to kill it, shoot the lower plate with, well, with any shell basically. Well, any shell, any high penetrating shell. However, with a HE-ATFS shell, you can easily just shoot the front of this thing and you can kill it that way. Shoot the front and it should penetrate, since it has good armor, but HE-ATFS will penetrate without a problem. You can get matched in tier 6, you can get matched in tier 7 and 8 games, so you can face AP, FS, DS shells, and that will just punch through the armor like no big deal. So in top tier, when you are up tiered with the vehicle, you have to be careful, since AP, FS, DS and ATGMs will go through the armor like a hot knife through butter, and that's I guess one way to deal with this vehicle. It's still scary how I'm fairly sure that this actually could potentially be put in tier 8 actually, if they decide to change how everything works. It could potentially become a tier 7 or tier 8 platoon. Based on from what I've seen and from my personal experience with the platoon, having this thing at tier 7 or 8 would be okay, they would still be decent. So that's the next thing that might happen to this platoon. But overall very interesting. I did not expect to see this vehicle added this soon. But let's see how the battle goes. I'm on 4 kills. Well, about to be 5 kills. And it bounced! Lovely! Lovely. I missed the lower plate. Well, there's no track for that T-34. T-32, my apologies. T-32. They can penetrate my purple armor, but I can penetrate theirs. So, yeah. Boom. Side armor right in the ammo. I mean, this gun is nasty. I love big caliber guns, especially when they are longer than usual, like this one. This is honestly a huge gun. A horrifying gun, to be more accurate. And it's time for some revenge bomber action. Let's see if I can drop some bombs. Haven't had a lot of success with bombers lately. Mostly because I get shot down before I can do anything, because that's just how my luck goes. And the team usually doesn't use fighters to save me, and when they do, well, they get spawned at the other end of the map, so yeah, my luck in the end remains bad no matter what I do. And let's roll towards the base. This is one of my favorite game modes, by the way. I love to play this side, and honestly I love to play the other side as well. This side has that rocket that can protect your hull plate, which is useful when your hull plate is the weak spot. And a Ectider. Well, this time it didn't kill it because I missed. I should have shot the side. And a Term. Now the Term can penetrate your armor easily, so yeah, the Term is dangerous. But that was a victory. Not a good victory, but still nonetheless a victory. Well, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next match. No, at first... No, at first when I saw this map, I thought I can actually go to my favorite position here. And unfortunately, this vehicle is not as tall as the ATGM box. So yeah, I actually thought I was able to shoot over, but I can't shoot over, so I changed plans and I decided to go right over here, just like that. And hello there, and I missed, of course I missed. Good thing is, the machine gun can penetrate, and I killed the gunner on the ZSU. my gun is wrecked as well, so I have to repair it. You will be repairing a lot with this vehicle, by the way, so don't be surprised by that. You will be repairing a lot, especially your gun. Players will shoot your gun like there is no tomorrow, and honestly it's only justified since the gun is scary. So yeah, shoot the gun if you can't shoot the armor. Well, it's one medium tank trying their luck. Unfortunately, the luck is not on their side. Yeah, that's a T-34. I'm shooting 152 caliber shells at a T-34. It's kinda crazy when you think about it. Definitely a yeah, this gun is scary. And nothing much that the T-34 can do from the front. Like nothing much they can do about this monstrosity of a tank. Did you see that? How did I get a kill there? It hit the side armor and just exploded all over the tank. I have to be careful. While I'm not tall enough to shoot over, I'm tall enough to get shot over. So I have to be careful not to get hit from the side, since this vehicle is kind of protruding a little bit. Being a tall tank is not usually, it can have its downsides, right? And the tank is saved by the wreck there, so let me go forward a little bit. No, side armor, let's not... I have to be careful though. The side armor is not good on this tank, so... I mean, no side armor is good on most tanks. Usually tanks that have a good side armor are tanks with spaced armor, so yeah. Say objects, unfortunately they're behind, I can't shoot at them. That's a SU-100, completely destroyed. That tank is in pieces now. This is so evil to use this gun in this tier, honestly. It really feels way too strong for the tier. This is like I think the first time I said that, I actually feel like this is too strong for the tier, because this just does so much damage and it penetrates so much and it has so much armor from the front. It's not invincible by any means. It's just so silly how much armor this thing has from the front. I mean, I can easily use this thing in top tier. Like, no joke. I think I can use this in top tier without a problem. And that's an object. Yeah, you can penetrate the object from the lower plate, just like that. Well, of course, object on object, so yeah, doesn't really count, but... A tiger? What is that tiger doing? Well, I can't penetrate the armor with the machine gun, but that's where the big gun comes in play. Yeah, oof, that's just nasty, and yeah, BMP penetrates. Yeah, BMP penetrates, and that's what I'm saying. ATGMs are scary for this vehicle. I mean, ATGMs kill anything basically, so yeah. But yeah, the match is slowly coming to an end, and the Object 268 is definitely, I would say, probably the strongest tier 6 vehicle with the strongest tier 6 gun at the moment. I am fairly sure that they will change this platoon, and they will definitely change the tier, or they might change the tanks. I'll be following to see what will happen with that, but honestly, if you bought this, well, you're probably having fun, because these tanks are definitely very fun to use. They're strong, they're definitely very strong. But with that being said, tell me what you think about this platoon in the comments down below. I'm very curious to see what you guys think, and well, the match is coming to an end, and it stopped. It went through, did you see that? It went through the... Oh, well, I guess if you have bad luck, you have bad luck in the end. Anyway, that was fun. That's definitely a scary tank, sure. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe. As always, I'll see you next time.